That's what they call me.
That's what they call me, Foxy Loxy. Okay. Also, like, locks in the word.
Right, yeah, no.
Come on.
It fits perfectly.
Get it together, Chicken Little. I should say it again. Get it together, Chicken Little.
The end.
The end.
See you later.
Who will we sue? Who won't we sue? Okay.
This is Em telling bedtime stories, in case you're wondering.
We have this book from the 90s called Politically Correct Bedtime Stories. I've been reading one every night to Allison. My Jewish accent likes to come out while I tell stories, and so I've been reading them. I read Chicken Little last night as if I were from Queens, apparently. As if I were Fran Drescher.
It's my favorite. I always feel like I'm in Bob's Burgers.
It is very Linda Belcher.
Who won't we sue?
Who won't we sue? Okay, so.
Welcome to the March listener stories. I can't believe it's already March.
I can't believe it. That means we're only like 10 days away from Eva's birthday.
Oh, that's right. 3/11, baby.
We're only 16 days away from St. Patty's Day.
Wow.
That's about it.
That's about the big March days for all of us. Madness.
Yes.
Madness, what some would say.
Oh, some just might, especially if they're basketball players.
Especially so. Just like us.
Hello. So, if this is your first time here, welcome.
I'm
and
sorry, you've probably already left by now, but if you're still here, welcome.
We put out a listeners episode on the first of every month, and it is compiled of all of our favorite stories that have been sent in to us. Usually per Christine's request is the theme.
Yeah.
So this time around, we requested what, Christine?
So Em made their first request, which was chill AF ghosts.
Like ghosts you want to haunt you.
Like maybe like rip a bong. Is that a thing?
Sure.
Don't know about drugs.
If you were to move into a house and you knew it was haunted, like the most ideal ghost that you don't really even want to get rid
Yeah,
of.
bong rip some sage. That's the one.
There it is.
Yeah.
And
like,
then
just have fun with this ghost.
And then Christine requested past lives.
Right.
So this is a compilation of those.
I think I might just make the rest of our entire podcast request past lives because it's my favorite thing to learn about and read about.
I hope I really get into the chill ghost scenario.
I do too. I did see a couple subjects that had that in there too. And someone recently at a show gave us many lives, many masters, and a couple people have suggested it, and I'm about to start it this week when I'm traveling to Maine and Vermont. We're coming at you.
Wow. Hey, did you know you're my Maine squeeze, Christine?
Oh, my heart is a flutter.
Did you get it, Maine? No? Okay.
Yeah, I
don't
get
know if
it.
they did.
Did you want me to...
Did Maine? Probably not.
Maine is really amused.
Maine checked out. They were like, why are they coming here?
Maine's like, we didn't invite you.
Anyway, if you would like to submit your own personal stories one day, you can do that at andthat'swhywedrink.com, right? We have
a submission form now.
Yes. You can also email it to andthat'swhywedrink@gmail.com and make sure you put the topic and listener story in the subject line so it's easier for Eva to find.
Yes. Poor Eva has to read all of them. Yes. She loves it, but also it's a lot of work we make her do.
She loves it. She hates it.
Because she finds the favorites and then we get to read them. And get all the credit for finding them.
Oh, yeah. We're very good at taking all of Eva's credit. So wherever you are, put your glass in the air for Eva because she deserves it.
And in 10 days, it'll be her birthday. And on that one day, we'll let her have the credit.
Everyone, on March 11th, it is Eva's B-Day, and we're going to all tweet her happy birthday because she deserves it.
Yes, ooh, gross.
Everyone make her feel very special. Okay.
And that wasn't about Eva. That's
literally her handle.
Username.
Okay. Moving on. Okay, so here's the first story for March.
Great.
This is from Sydney. Sydney uses she, her pronouns. Thank you, Sydney, for
normalizing pronouns. Oh. I thought we were going to say that.
I appreciate that. That makes it... I like normalizing pronouns.
Wait, what were you saying?
For making... I was going to say the same thing in different words.
I thought I messed up.
No, take it away. I want to hear you do it this time.
Oh, thank you, Sydney, for normalizing pronouns. Was this using our form, our internet form? Oh, yeah. Fun. I forced you to put your pronouns in on the internet.
We're forcing normalizing pronouns, and if that's the way it has to get done, then that's the way it has to get done. I don't make the rules, except we literally made the submission form.
I definitely did.
Okay, subject line. Past lives, I used to be a guardian angel.
Whoa! What? That must be a tough job.
When you said past lives, we did not even consider past afterlives.
Oh, good point. No?
Wow. And maybe you weren't, maybe this is your first time on Earth. Maybe you were a guardian angel only. I don't know if that was necessarily...
You're about to find out.
I'm feeling chatty today.
They'll probably tell us.
Maybe if I read this.
Maybe if we found out what they wanted to say, we'd find out.
I don't want to. Okay. Sydney says, hello, Christine, M, Eva, Geo, Juniper, Lemon, Avocado, Spider, and Web.
Excuse me, Spider has a name called Skylar. Thank you very much.
Skylar the Spider and Deb the Web.
And Web also has a name called Deb. But thank you. Hello.
I just want to say I love the podcast. I've been listening since July of 2018, and I still get excited every time there's a new episode to listen to on my commute or at my desk job. Christine asked for past life stories, and I know this one might be a little different than what you're looking for, but I thought I would go ahead and share anyway. I used to be what a lot of people would probably call a guardian angel. My mom and I both had these feelings and memories that seem to line up pretty well, and this is what I've come up with. Oh boy, here we go. This is my first life as a human person.
What? You called it M.
Before this, I was some sort of being that watched over humans on Earth.
Oh my God.
There was a war, and I had a group of soldiers that I looked after and did my best to protect. Aw.
Wow.
Also, never even considered that like your assignment would be a cluster of people, not just like one person.
I kind of knew about that only because in the whole, Catholic like illustrations, or it's always like an angel over like an army of people.
I see.
You know what I mean?
That checks out.
Was that you? You look beautiful.
Well, you looked divine, I'm sure.
Those robes. Oh.
If I were a church goer, I would have seen a lot more pictures of you, I think. Okay. And did my best to protect them. One by one, they were killed.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you did too well.
Sorry, that transition was like very jarring. One by one, they all died. The end.
Maybe this is your demotion. Maybe you're like back to being a human now.
Try again.
One by one, they were killed, and when the last one died, that was when I fell. Oh, so that actually...
Wow.
I have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember falling from a great height and waking up in shock in a forest.
No.
So you really did get demoted. You plummeted to earth.
It literally threw you down. Wow.
And also, like, we are not laughing at the fact that soldiers died. Let's be clear. But that story, you really knew
We're also not laughing at you, but your storytelling is very good. And I mean,
you said I was a guardian angel who protected an army of people, and all of them didn't make it.
Then I got thrown into.
If this were only a joke and not real, it would be a hysterical joke.
This is true.
Okay.
Sorry. All respect. Mad respect.
Yes, of course. So you woke up in a forest. Geo has arrived on the scene.
For God's sake, I'm so sorry. This is Hello.
Hi, good boy. Hi, Puppy Duppolis. Happy boys sit on chairs. Happy boys sit on chairs. Yay, come on. Good boy. And there he is for YouTube to see. Okay. Oh, what a good boy. Okay.
We fast forwarded probably on the audio. Gio's now sitting on my lap.
Gio, you want to hear a story? Only handsome puppy dogs get to hear them.
This is quite... He's a big boy.
He's a big boy with kind eyes.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Okay, listen up, Gio. We left off on a guardian angel not really doing their job. I remember falling from a great height and waking up in a shock in a forest. There were dark, crunchy leaves all around me, and I was freezing, so it must have been autumn or early winter. I remember looking up at the bare trees above me and wondering what the hell I had just done, and then I remember footsteps approaching. My mom says she was the one who found me, and we were reborn in this life as mother and daughter.
Oh.
That is bananas.
That is bananas.
So two guardian angels can befriend each other purely as guardian angels.
I don't think the one was a guardian angel. I think the mom figure found them in the woods. Oh. Do you know what I mean? Like after they fell.
I see.
I'm not sure, but...
Okay. I think my brother, my husband, and another good friend of mine were a few of the soldiers I looked after.
Oh, boy.
Well, they forgave you, it seems. But that's also wonderful and a beautiful story. I don't know how to explain how I know, and we've certainly never talked about it. It's just a feeling. It's like what you were saying about souls finding each other from across other lifetimes. I don't talk about this very often because I'm honestly not sure how much is real, but I wanted to tell you my story. Thanks for reading.
Wow, that is amazing.
It's interesting that you could become friends with your guardian angel in another life. Or like you could...
That is. I never thought about that. Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
I always... And not that this is necessarily a belief. It was just kind of my understanding because I was never challenged otherwise. Oh, and Gio goes...
I'm so sorry. This is difficult. Honey, can you maybe go on the couch?
Can you go sit down here? Okay, never mind. It was always just kind of my understanding that I guess I always thought that you kind of like level up if you do well. And so like if you're a human, you have yet to graduate to like a celestial position as like a guardian angel or something. And maybe if you like didn't do hot as a guardian angel, you get like almost demoted or like ranked
Sure.
less next time. I don't know why I always felt that way, but it's interesting that I never even crossed my mind that the
could go
guardian angel
the other way.
They could go the other way, and you could. Like, I always thought, like, you and I were probably some family relatives with each
Sure.
other in a past life. But for all I know, maybe I was the devil on your shoulder.
Maybe you were... Yeah.
That's likely,
No,
actually.
you are actually currently that. Maybe you were my guardian angel, or I was probably yours, and I probably failed. Sorry.
You probably killed me.
I probably
now
did.
it's a whole thought.
My bad.
Deirdre absolutely
Deirdre
killed me at
you
one
by
point.
accident so many times. I will say...
Or on purpose.
Or on purpose. It's interesting because I, from what I learned, I don't know about guardian angels, but from what I learned, have read about angels, is they're a separate being. Like, they're not human.
Interesting.
So I don't know. Maybe maybe a guardian angel is different. Maybe...
I mean, I don't really have a personal, like organized spiritualist thought process at all. I think I kind of just believe in maybe anything,
Yeah.
and then one of them's bound to be right. But I've also always thought that, like, maybe when you die, either you can like be a ghost and kind of haunt this world for a little bit, or you can pass on, or maybe if you did well enough, you can become a guardian angel for the people that you loved in this life. So you're also kind of together. Mm-hmm. It really never even crossed my mind it could go the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Anyway, thank you,
fascinating.
Sydney.
Thank you, Sydney. Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
A lot of talks we could have about that one.
Okay. And a lot of talks we did. Sorry if you're skipping.
Sorry.
No, form. Okay, here we go. Form submission. Here we go. This is from Carson. She, her pronouns.
Hi, Carson. Thank you for normalizing pronouns.
This is called My Creepy Past Lives. Okay, hello. I'm like, before Em starts talking, before we even know what's going on. Okay, Carson says, okay, hello, my spooky peeps and lemon. So I have a lot of creepy and weird stories, but in the last listener episode, you asked for past lives, and boy, do I have some stories. To give you some background, I come from a long line of witches. There's even books written about us.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. Some people in my family have gifts like seeing dead people and being in tune with the other side. What a nice gift.
What a gift.
This all started with the first time I had my cards read. I was at the fair and she told me something bad was hanging around and I needed to be saged. The lady proceeds to chant and sage me as I sit there horrified and only 16. The second time I had my cards read by a different person who said that she sees trees, ?
I do too. Wait a
And-
minute.
And evil.
Oh.
Oh. I was like, okay, that's cool. Maybe the trees, maybe in the forest. Okay, now I'm just combining them.
Wait a
I'm so
minute.
sorry. This probably is not a
If
thing.
we were on the reefer right now,
Oh,
this could get bananas.
just like one of those chill ghosts, we would
Wait
be
a
having
minute.
a time.
Wait a minute.
I was like, okay, that's cool. The third time is a time I will never forget and where the story starts. So I was living in Cali and my mother came to visit and we decided to go into this cute witch shop that I frequented. We also decided to get our cards read. My mom went first and I went after. I go to the back and in a blank white room with my card reader. I guess the room was supposed to help with no distractions. I sit down and the first three cards she looks at me and asks if I'm spiritual. I look at her and say yes. I don't really know what I believe in. She tells me that I'm powerful and asks me not to hurt her. Oh, what? Ugh, I just got shivers.
I didn't like that.
Okay, first of all, I'm not very big with blonde hair who has never tried to hurt anybody. She goes and asks me if I see dead people, if I see the future, and if I've had a hard life. At this point, I'm a little thrown off. Yes, I do dream of the future. No, I don't see dead people. Parentheses, according to her, I can if I try. Maybe don't.
Maybe just,
Unless you want to.
I don't know, but the goose cam is real right now,
it's
guys.
pretty wild. And yes, my life hasn't been easy. I can't go into full detail about what we talked about, but it was wild. She frowns and says, I keep seeing trees. Oh, sorry, goose cam.
Ugh.
I keep seeing trees and then gets really serious and tells me that I was a really bad person in all my past lives. Oh my God. And a witch. But in this life, with the path I'm on, this will be my first life that I'm good. At this point, I'm like, wow, I deal with depression, anxiety, a lot of sleeping problems. I walk, talk, scream, sleep paralysis, and astral project, you name it.
Holy shit. You do sound powerful. I'm not surprised she asked you to not hurt
Don't
her.
hurt me.
Please don't hurt us either, by the way.
I guess I had to do with my past lives leaving their print in this one.
Ah.
She even offered me a job to read cards there.
Wow.
I told her, that's how you know she's not bullshitting.
On the spot.
Yeah.
She was like, you have a power.
She's like, I will pay you for this. Wow. I told her I've never tried, and she said she would teach me. Unfortunately, I was moving that month. The whole encounter really got to me, so I decided to do a past life regression, and in all my lives, something horrible happens or I die young. I cried the entire session, and the person leading it just said sorry.
Can you imagine just like doing your job, and then all of a sudden you're just like,
Sorry.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's literally nothing else to say. Okay, let me share with you something personal and a little depressing. After that card reader, I dove deep into spirituality and it was amazing. As I felt like I was getting stronger, but something was off. I went to a friend and we did a spread on my future. One path was giving up everything and being human but happy, and the other I was going to dive deep into spirituality and maybe be happy or maybe not. I chose my human life, and it was the right choice but the hardest. I gave up everything. I don't have sleep problems. I don't dream of the future. I can't astral project. Nothing. In this life, I got stripped of everything, but this is my learning life, I think. It was hard to deal with, but now I know I made the right decision, and I'll be okay just being human. I have some scary stories of astral projecting and something trying to take my body, dreams of past loved ones, and some crazy stories if you're interested. Also, if you were wondering, the card reader told my mom she was going to travel soon and find love. Must be nice. Stay great. Love the podcast, Carson. Holy, that was heavy. That was heavy.
You know, in the first one, I had a lot to say. In this one, I'm kind of speechless.
I think I was thinking, like, clearly I'm not. I was thinking, like, I feel like we're always like, ooh, you can do all these cool witchy things. Like, ooh, what's it like to, and then if for somebody to be like, no, I chose not to do that, to live a happy life. That's an interesting thought. Because I feel like we take it so lightly, like, ooh,
yeah,
like tarot cards and like spiritual, you know.
Well, again, I think the hidden theme here is that, like, I never thought it could go backwards, because in this time I always thought, like, oh, the second you have the ability to astral project,
right, if you're building your spirituality,
yeah, like everyone, like, I assume anyone who has learned how to do that or innately knows how to do that can practice it and wants to practice it. I've never even considered like someone actively avoids it.
I actually heard a podcast yesterday. I was listening to a paranormal podcast, and this woman said a lot of mediums she knows intentionally don't do psychic work because they don't want to face it. They don't want to do it. It's like too much.
It makes total sense, but as someone who's so ignorant to it, it's like, I don't...
Because we're like, cool, I want to do that.
The grass is always greener, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, thank you for your story.
Thank you, Carson.
This is titled Past Lives and Spirit Journeys. And this is from Mal, she, her pronouns.
Thank you, Mal, for normalizing pronouns in 2020.
By force, because of us and our board that we made. Okay, Past Lives and Spirit Journeys. Hi, y'all. I'm Mal. I'm a mom of an 11-year-old girl named Autumn and a 9-month-old boy named Taryn.
Aw.
Pronounced like Karen with a T. Oh, I did well then.
Good job.
I wanted to tell you about how I met my children before they were born.
I would love this. I love this.
The first time I met my daughter was in a dream I had while I was pregnant with her. Side note, I know this is your story.
Sorry, Em has a story now.
I have a story. That's how Deirdre's mom, my best friend back home, that's how she got her name, because Deirdre's mom had a dream that she was going to give birth to a girl with multicolored hair, and her name was Deirdre. And then she woke up and she's like, that's a weird ass name. And then she ended up giving birth, like, while she was pregnant, she had that dream. Then she gave birth to a girl with multicolored hair, and she's like, well, I guess her name's Deirdre.
Wait, how did the
she had like,
I'm picturing like rainbow.
She had like black hair, and then it all fell out, and then it was red hair, and then it all fell out, and then it was blonde or something.
Oh, so it wasn't all multicolored when she came out.
Calico over time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Moving on to the more important story here. The first time I met my daughter was in a dream I had while I was pregnant with her. It was a series of 3 dreams which took place on different nights. The first dream was just my spirit arriving in what felt like the inside of a light bulb. You know.
Oh, I know just what that's like.
Everything was blindingly bright and hot. Okay, I do know what that's like.
It sounds about right. Like this stupid fucking ring light.
Like you're like this room in the summer. I couldn't see anything but white light, and I was very afraid. It felt like my body was completely sunburnt, but when I looked at where my body should be, it wasn't there, and that's when I heard a voice.
Oh.
The voice urged me to follow it, and I was terrified because I didn't know if the voice was trying to trick me. I instantly woke up and was in a panic. The next dream was the same voice, but this time I was in this ethereal airport, surrounded by people hugging and laughing, so I felt more safe.
Wow.
I also didn't feel like I was on fire, so that was good.
That helps.
The third time I had finally arrived to where I met my daughter's past life's family.
Oh, whoa.
So your kid's previous family.
Oh, wow.
They informed me that she was a grandma with tons of kids and grandkids, and they all had red hair.
Oh, my gosh.
It was wild. And no, neither my daughter nor I have red hair, but when my daughter was younger, she always begged me to let her dye her hair red.
I just got goose cam.
That's noodles.
That is
wild.
wild.
Is fucking noodles.
Oh.
Wow. I didn't meet my son's past life directly either. Rather, I met his best friend who told me all about him.
Okay, this
This is so cool.
This is
Can you
wild.
imagine if one day my future mom or future dad meet you and you're like, Emma's
let me give you-
fucking horrible.
Let me give
Good
you
luck.
a little crash course before this demon enters your life.
This time I arrived in what felt like the same place, except I had the distinct feeling it was different and that there were only kids there. The boy that called on me showed himself as a stocky short boy with a shirt that had one horizontal stripe across the front and some blue jeans. He had a bowl cut hairstyle and didn't show me his face. He didn't talk about himself or tell me his name, but he absolutely gushed about his best friend, the boy that was going to be my son.
Oh,
Adorable.
I know.
He took me on a school bus and showed me the neighborhood he grew up in and told me his mom was the bus driver. So he and his best friend got to ride the bus for a long time, and when the bus is empty, it really gets a lot of air over the speed bumps if you sit in the back.
No. I like this kid.
He told me how my son had a very sad home and he never wanted to go home. The most important thing he wanted to tell me was that my son was an amazing singer. I guess we will have to see if my little boy grows up to be a singer. I hope someday his best friend finds him again. Thanks for the podcast. I love it.
Oh, I hope Taryn
Wow.
becomes a
I
famous
have-
pop singer.
I have super duper chills.
Me too. This episode's getting me. I gotta
Also, the
say.
fact that they haven't met yet and someone else is already manifesting they'll find each other again because they clearly love each other so much.
that like breathtaking. Really
That's
beautiful.
precious.
Really beautiful.
And these stories are so good because no matter what, they're wonderful and no guess is wrong
Oh, right. I mean,
about like what the hell happens or like
Yeah.
what goes on next.
right. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this is from Chrissy
Hi, Chrissy.
Kiwi. This is called Past Life with Bonus Chill Ghosts.
That's what we're hoping for.
Hey, Eva, M, Christine, Fur Babies, Walt, and Lemon. My name is Chrissy, she, her, and your
Thank you for normalizing pronouns.
next listener episode comes out literally the day before my birthday.
Yay!
3-2. Happy birthday, Chrissy. Oh, I bet Eva was excited about this one because it says, Hey, Eva, my fellow fishy.
Aww, HPD.
Ooh, HPD. I will be 3-1, which I just realized makes the following... Oh, no, 3-2. JK. When
Next
you're 32,
year will be your
it'll be your golden, right? Golden
maybe
birthday?
some version of a golden year.
32 on 3-2? I don't
Yeah.
know. I will be 31, which I just realized makes the following story take place 15 years ago, almost to the day, as the trip took place in March.
Ooh.
When I was 16, there was a senior trip to Paris, but not enough seniors were going, so they opened it up to the lower grades. I'd been working all summer, so I could actually afford to pay for my ticket and jumped at the chance to travel outside of Canada, hey Em, for the first time
Hello.
in my life. During the first full day of our trip, our guide took us to, oh great, thanks Eva, Place de la Concorde, and started the stop by asking if any of us knew what was special about this area. Being teenagers, not well versed in French history, no one knew until I found myself pointing and saying the guillotine was there. Oh shit.
Imagine going on a field trip and then finding out you died by guillotine or something.
Being like, I remember. Yeah,
Like,
and you're stuck in France.
Oh, here's that, and here's that, and oh boy.
Yeah, that's
Interesting though that the world was able to draw her back
yes, interesting. Very,
to
very
the same site.
You know what else is interesting is the thought that like I know that she was 16, but can you imagine if your child was like, that's where the guillotine was, and it was like a 4-year-old or something?
Oh, 1,000! I would believe it
Those
more.
are the stories that get me too when you're like reading those books where it's like, and then he said, oh yeah, he and I used to smoke cigars over here.
Or like the kid on that was watching the Titanic,
yes, oh yeah,
and then he was like, "That's not where the windows were."
yes, he knew full well about the layout. Okay, sorry. Anyway, sorry, Chrissy.
Yes, the guillotine. Go on.
Right. That's important. I did not know that until that moment, and even the guide looked a little surprised before confirming that yes, the guillotine during the French Revolution was where I had pointed. Strange, but maybe I had seen something and subconsciously remembered. Later in the trip, we went to Versailles. The palace is beautiful, and I loved looking around until we got into what used to be Marie Antoinette's room. Have you been to Versailles?
Are you Marie Antoinette?
Versailles is so cool. Okay.
I don't think I've been there.
It's beautiful. Before our guide started giving us the history of the room, I said to one of my friends, the furniture's wrong. To which they just looked at me oddly. The guide went on to explain that during the Revolution, furniture was taken or destroyed, and so they aren't quite sure exactly where things would have been.
This is how, if you are able to like connect with your past lives, this is how you cash in for historical accuracy.
Good point.
You just be like, oh, I know where, and then like, bada bing, bada boom.
What if someone else is like, no, I know where?
Oh, then that
How do you
person's an
test it?
asshole.
I guess you... Yeah, that's right. Okay. Da-da-da. Again, I thought this was a bit strange, but here's the thing that really got me. When I got back home and was telling my mom about this, she looks at me strangely and says that when I was about 6 years old, I recreated the French Revolution with my Barbies. She said she could not figure out how I knew what that was at that age, and that I had my favorite Barbie, Marie Antoinette, and that I got really upset when it was her turn to be guillotined, but I apparently insisted that it be recreated because that's what happened. Holy shit.
Maybe you were Marie Antoinette's friend. Like, maybe you really loved each other and you had to go watch her death.
I've always wondered since if I was maybe a maid or some kind of servant for Marie Antoinette. Yeah. Because
Wild.
That's really interesting that you would know the layout and everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and like be in the, oh God. Bonus story, chill ghosts. Here we go.
Let's hear it. Marie Antoinette haunts you.
By the way, that was a banana story. Okay.
I know I'm saying Mary, not Marie. I'm not going to change, though.
Okay. You clearly weren't there.
Before someone tweets, like, it's not Marie Antoinette. It's like, I know.
This is America.
This is America.
Shut up. Okay. Bonus story, chill goes. My parents' house is haunted, and one of my favorite things that happens there all the freaking time is that you will be upstairs and hear people down in the kitchen. It sounds like they're sitting around the kitchen table chatting, drinking. They have a team wine vibe. Hell yeah.
Okay.
And laughing. Of course, when you go downstairs, no one is there, but the vibe is never scary. I like to think there's just a chill ghost hang that takes place in my folks' giant kitchen every so often. It sounds like a good time. Love you all and can't wait to see what March has in store. Chrissy, what a sweet ending.
That's precious.
That's your birthday. It's your month.
Yeah.
You and Eva, my little fishies.
Also, thank you for your story. It terrifies me that I should now be, like, even more fascinated in what my children do when they're playing.
Oh, Em and I are going to be fucking obnoxious about that.
If my kid wants Hot Wheels, I'm gonna be like, they were a race car driver. I already know. Like, I'm gonna.
It's Dale Earnhardt Jr., my baby.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be weird. I'm gonna be so hyper focused on every single thing they're interested in and everything they're averse to for no reason.
Be so fucking annoying. I know Blaze is already gonna be like, nope. I bought him this Hot Wheels car
because he begged for it. Because he won the last race.
That's what happened. See?
So the next story that I have is called "A Chill Dog Loving Ghost."
Okay,
that's why Gio came up here.
Yeah.
This is from Daniel. They them pronouns.
Hello, Daniel. Thank you for normalizing pronouns in 2020.
Daniel says, "I just listened to the February's listener episode." The listener stories episode, and y'all mentioned chill ghosts as a potential topic. Yes. Finally, one I have.
Woohoo!
That's why we're here.
I love when people say "finally," like it's such a random, specific topic. And they're like, "Yeah, you hit."
Like, I've been waiting for this exact concept. Well, here you go, Daniel.
Here you go.
Your time to shine. All right. My spouse and I have been living together with our dog Cedar.
Oh.
I can't attach a pic, but here is his Insta: Cedar Golden Collie.
Do you call him Cece? Because that's precious.
Or Dardar.
Sure.
For about a year now. So they've been living together for a year now. When we first moved in, Cedar would get really anxious when we left and would make trouble for himself. But one day it all abruptly stopped and he was much better behaved while home alone. Around the same time, we noticed some weird things happening in the house. Items falling in the kitchen for nowhere near it. Oh, what is going on? It's not you. I messed up. Items falling into the kitchen sink from nowhere near it.
Ooh.
While we were sitting in the living room.
Someone's playing buckets.
Maybe it's Dardar. Lights in another room blinking when they shouldn't be, etc. And we just figured that there was some type of spirit or ghost in the house. I like it. They're like, it's just a spirit.
Oh, we just figured.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We made a point of saying we're fine with them being there as long as they don't try to fuck our shit up, and the events stopped happening.
Oh, good.
Later, we were talking to Cedar, as you do, yes, about how good he'd been, and jokingly asked if he was hanging out with the ghost. And at that exact moment, there was a large amount of static from our record player, which had been turned off, and the speaker on a different input.
Do you remember when that happened, when we were doing a story? Like
Rosa,
the way early on in a fucking record, just like
glided down.
Oh, yucko.
We got a little spooked, but continued our conversation. The name Steve got brought up. I don't remember why, but when I said it, Cedar freaked out the way he would if I'd ask if he'd wanted to go for a WALK for all the dogs listening.
Yeah.
And the record player scratched again, this time for longer.
No.
I don't know who Steve was or why he's stuck around, but his presence is never malicious, and he's made friends with my dog, so he seems pretty chill. That's like how your Walter and Gio were buddies.
Yeah, and Gabe, or what, Gabe was his dog?
Apparently Walter, so Walter obviously hangs out here. Walter has a dog that also hangs out here named Gabe, and apparently Gabe and Gio are friends.
You know what's interesting is I was listening to an old episode. Sorry, I don't mean to like interrupt this
that
story.
was it, the end.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel, and Steve, and Cedar. Dardar, sorry. And your spouse. Thank you very much for sharing. I love it. I wonder how the name Steve got brought up.
I know.
They're like, oh, I don't know. The name Steve just kind of came up. I mean, I guess it's... We bring up all sorts of shit. But yeah, remember, I was listening to an old episode really early on. Oh, because I was doing, I think, like...
something.
Blooper reels for Patreon. Oh, right. I've been making blooper reels for Patreon and putting them back up. And I was listening to one of them, and I walked out of the room and I came back and you were freaking out and you were like, I can't believe you weren't fucking recording. And I was like, what the hell? And you were like, a dog just followed Gio into the other room.
I literally saw a golden retriever tail, like flip, flop,
following Gio. And so it's interesting. Anyway, it just occurred to me because we talked about how Walter.
That was wild. I've never seen a ghost dog before, but it was just like it was like a member of the family, like did not seem out of place at all.
You were like, is there, I know this is a dumb question, but like, do you have a second dog I don't know about?
I've been here for many months now, but do you have another dog?
A secret shy dog?
I mean, just like just trotted right behind Gio,
Which
like they were walking around.
I just love that Gio has friends. Like
Gio's making buddies everywhere.
It's like Casper and the fox, like just making, I don't want to think about that. It makes me upset.
How did the fox become a ghost?
I don't want to think about
Christine.
this. I don't want to think about it. Okay, this is a... The energy has shifted. This is a story sent in by Reese. He, him, his. Thank you, Reese.
Thank you for normalizing pronouns.
The subject is that time MUFON came to my house.
Great.
And now can you remind me what the...
Yes, I will, because it is something that I am not... Don't get too excited, because I'm not doing an episode on it soon, but I do have notes that I'm tentatively editing as time goes on.
Can't wait.
It is the Mutual UFO Network.
Okay, Mutual UFO.
It's basically if you are... a big UFO / alien / outer space. If you're interested in it, or if you're a big advocate for the fact that aliens exist.
A big alien.
If you're a big old alien, if you're Dan Aykroyd, who, by the way, is an actual member of MUFON.
Yeah, that's where we heard it, yeah.
Basically, it's the big society for those who believe in extraterrestrials.
Cool, okay, great. Well, MUFON came to Reese's house, so that should be fun.
Great.
Okay, howdy, guys. During episode 157, y'all mentioned the organization MUFON, and I knew I had to write in. Am I pronouncing it right? MUFON? Or
Muffin?
Muffin!
Let's call it Muffin. I think it is MUFON, but let's call it Muffin.
Muffin. And I knew I had to write in. I am from a small East Texas town, and in the summer of 1991, my family and I were headed home after having dinner in a neighboring town. While on a main highway, my mom noticed a bright light in the sky. I should also note it was eerily quiet and still that night. As we approached, my dad pulled over on the side of the road so we could look at this really bright light. Almost immediately, the light darted away from us. My dad moved the car in an attempt to see the light, and it moved again. We backed up on the side of the road, still trying to see this light / object. This time, rather than darting away, the object descended to just above the highway and was directly behind us. Okay. I remember being in the back seat and seeing this massive cigar-shaped object behind us. Mm-hmm.
That'll do it.
It looked almost like it was made of liquid silver. Interesting. I never thought about that idea, like mercury, maybe, like a metallic-y
very dangerous
liquid. Don't breathe that in. Clearly, my dad panicked and he punched the gas. The object, which could easily quote-unquote run us, continued to follow. My dad turned onto our rural country road, which had extensive tree cover. When we pulled into our yard, the object was now above our home. My mom immediately ran into the house to grab her camera. That would be us. Hold on, I gotta take a picture. My dad was trying to get my little brother out of the car when my mom returned from the house. She pointed her camera at the object, and it almost immediately shot across the sky. So maybe that's repellent. You're just like, oh, let me Snapchat this.
Actually, flash photography does get rid of liquid mercury, I've heard.
Wait, are you joking?
Yes, of course I'm joking.
I thought you were like saying like, yeah, that makes sense because of science. I was like, wow.
As a non-member of MUFON, I'm sorry, Muffin. Yeah, photography versus mercury. Photography always wins. It's like rock, paper, scissors.
Like maybe if you just try to like TikTok a UFO, it'll be like, no, we don't want to be in there. Maybe that's
let's TikTok muffins.
Let me TikTok
and see what happens
real quick. Okay.
No, but that really would be us being like, quick, we gotta go take a picture. And Blaze is like, hide the children.
We're like, no, they'll be fine. Video it.
It's good Patreon content.
Yeah. Oh my god. Put it on Close Friends Instagram. Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay.
We'll do like the super zoom, like.
Oh yeah, with the hearts. It's so good, Em. We could find out what it's 2020. What is 2020 is going to be like with that filter, where it like. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let's go back to the story.
That is such a boob. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
No, but now I'm just thinking of like, what 90s Nicktoon character are you?
What Roman goddess? Oh my god. It's so good. Okay, I'm so sorry.
It'd be funny if it was like, what 80s movie are you? And you got E.T.
Oh, or Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Or E.T. Okay.
Take it away.
Let's see. What does Reese have to say? She pointed her camera at the object, almost immediately shot across the sky. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your point of view, we could still see the bright light in the sky. My mom got in the car, and my dad seriously thought she was crazy. Mm-hmm. She told him she just wanted to get pictures of it, and she was going with or without him. So we all loaded back into the car to follow the light. This is my kind of family. Just outside of our town, we pulled onto the side of the road. Still haven't seen other people at this point, and my mom begins taking pictures until the object shoots away and disappears. The next morning, my mom went to work and asked her coworkers, I'm sorry, that is Gio. He has an itch. This is about him now. The next morning, my mom went to work and asked her coworkers that live in our area if they had seen anything the night before, to which they stated they had not. My mom then called all of the local regional airports to see if there were any testing going on the previous night. Apparently, she described what she saw to some of these airport employees. One suggested maybe it was a weather balloon, obviously. But my mom knew what she saw was not a weather balloon. During her lunch break, she took her camera, which was still in her house, to a photo shop and paid an enormous amount of money to get the film developed in 1 hour.
Wow.
Ah, the luxuries of the early 90s, it says.
Luxury, yeah. I have to get to the Rite Aid so I can sit for an hour and a half while my pictures get developed.
And pay like $50 extra for it.
Wow.
When she picked up the photo, she discovered all of the photos she attempted to take of the object were completely black. She asked the Photoshop worker about it, and he asked if she had taken her lens cap off, which she held up the camera to show it didn't have a lens cap.
Oh, thank God. I was like, this is going to be the most mom thing I've ever heard of.
It says, yay for mansplaining. I guess, Gio, I swear to God.
Hey, Gio. Come here.
We're almost done, honey.
Give us 2 minutes. Come here. Okay. It's not going to.
I guess it was a few weeks later when a couple of guys showed up at our house one evening.
Gio, come here. Gio, come here. Come on. Come on. You can do it.
Gio, come. Good boy. Okay. Good boy. I guess it was a few weeks later when a couple of guys showed up at our house one evening. They explained they were from Muffin, and wanted to ask us about our recent experience.
Also, if we like bran or corn better.
Neither. Thank you. Blueberry. To be fair.
Blubbery.
Muffin. To be fair, I was 9 and have no idea if they contacted my parents first or if they just randomly showed up. I do remember my dad refused to talk with them, and he still denies anything happened to this day. After talking with us, they told us we had experienced a close encounter of the second kind, and they asked my mom if they could borrow her photos and negatives. She didn't see anything wrong with that and even provided them a self-addressed envelope for return. In the end, she never got those pictures or negatives back.
Color me shocked.
Right. Cal surprise, as Em likes to say. Generally, I don't tell people about this as they usually think I am bananas. That's a good thing. But after hearing you mention MUFON, I thought it might be a story y'all would be interested in hearing.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Reese. I love that Eva finally got my my directive to not feel like she has to only pick theme stories.
Yeah, just do whatever you want.
Thank you, Eva. And thank you, Reese, and everybody else who's...
Yeah, thank you to all of our listeners this year.
That
or this
was
month.
fun.
Wow.
Sorry about Gio.
Sorry about Gio. Sorry about all of my tangents.
No, I love your tangents.
We haven't recorded in a while, so I'm very chatty. I just want to tell Christine everything that's on my mind.
We want to talk about angels.
That's all I want. Thank you so much to everyone who listened. Before Gio decides that we have to let him out, again, if you do want to submit a story, you can do that either in that's why we drink at gmail.com. Just make sure you put the title and listener story in the subject line, or you can just go to that's why we drink.com and there's a submission form there.
Yay.
And you can send in your own personal, paranormal, true crime, spooky stories.
I don't really have a theme. I think maybe let's just
free for
see
all.
what happens. Free for all.
All right. So
free for all for April.
Free for Fools April. No, okay.
Don't April Fools us, please. I don't want April Fools. Oh, God. Can you imagine?
All right. Well, anyway, that's all we've got.
That's all we've got. Thanks for listening, and thank you for submitting your story.
Happy March.
Happy March.
And
that's
why
we
drink.
Oh, my glasses. can't see.
Eva,
I can't see. Okay.